Hi everyone, welcome back for another video on Valangi Art. I appreciate those of you that have taken the time to watch this video series. I think it's very important to spread any knowledge I know about running classrooms and being a teacher to other educators or first-time teachers just getting into the industry. For today, I'm going to discuss differentiated instruction. At the end of this video, I'm also going to mention a few services that I provide both to students and any educators that could find it useful as well. So for today, I'm going to talk about differentiated instruction. There's different ways to teach as an educator in the classroom. So I'm going to kind of talk about those different ways. How do you engage students with your topic? So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Okay, what does it look like when a teacher uses this in the classroom? Differentiated teaching occurs when a teacher plans a lesson that adjusts either the content being discussed, the process used to learn, or the product expected from students to ensure that learners at different starting points can receive the instruction they need to grow and succeed. So in a nutshell, it is saying that you will have learners from all different backgrounds, learn different ways. In a prior video, I talked about some students learning better with auditory learning, some are visual learners, some really excel working in groups. So it is talking about those different ways of learning in the classroom, and how do you kind of coordinate that as an educator. Different elements of differentiated instruction, basically what educators are looking for through this process. They are looking for basically starting with the content, so they're teaching a lesson within their field, within their subject. And then they're also looking at the process. Kind of the journey the student is taking while they are learning the subject matter. So whether it's math, science, art, any subject in school. Then they're also looking at the end product from what the educator has taught. What is the end product from the student? And then the next one is just the learning environment. This also includes like how you set up the classroom. How do you put your tables in a certain formation so better learning occurs in the classroom. So these are all different elements that take part in differentiated instruction. Some different instructional strategies are creating learning stations. So I'm going to just give you a few ideas. Creating learning stations where students can go from one kind of table or area to another part of the classroom, and they might be learning just a different part of the same subject matter that you're trying to teach. So same lesson, but just creating little stations for them to rotate around in the classroom. Using little task cards, so students will get a card and then they are to do whatever the card is saying. Interviewing students. So if students, that's peer-to-peer learning. So students basically interviewing other students. And that can be done in all different ways as well, so students are learning different perspectives within whatever you are trying to teach them. Target different senses within the lesson. So that goes with all your senses, smell, seeing, sight, auditory, all of that. Share your own strengths and weaknesses. Students really love when educators kind of get personal a little bit, and it relates to whatever you're talking about. They like to know who you are. They like to know who their educator is and their teacher. just kind of saying your own, not so much opinion on things, but if you can share any like experience you had with them, they really appreciate that. You taking the time, kind of sharing your strengths, maybe even your weaknesses. It's nice to show students that like not everyone is perfect. Even as educators, we have our own flaws that we work through, and some things we do really well, and just like anyone else, we have flaws as well, and not everything is perfect. So the next one is use the think, pair, share strategy. So that's kind of thinking and then pairing the students up with each other as well. Make time for journaling. So I do use that in my classroom as well, using visual art journals, where students can either respond just in a journal instead of talking openly in a big group or classroom discussion. Another strategy is implementing a reflection tool of some sort. So for the arts, I do use journaling and visual art journals. So they will reflect their own opinion or experiences, or write it into a journal or draw it in there. And it's a way for them to have a self-reflection, but they don't really have to tell it to everybody else. So next slide. So what is the objective of having all these different ways of running a classroom and teaching in all these different strategies? It's basically to lift the performance of all students, including those who are falling behind and those ahead of the year level expectations. Differentiated instruction benefits students across the learning continuum, including students who are highly able and the gifted students as well. So you have your ones that do tend to fall behind, then you have your beginners, and then you have your kind of like middle average students, and then really the ones that excel at your subject matter. And then you have your truly gifted students. They're kind of above and beyond whatever you're teaching. They kind of go above and beyond those standards. So what differentiated instruction is all about is kind of catering to all those different ways, those different levels of learning, all the way from a beginner to an absolute advanced student. Why it helps in the classroom. Engage the most students and create the best outcomes for the entire classroom with differentiated instruction. It's a teaching method that helps bring struggling students up to speed, enables gifted students to learn at a faster pace. So when you're teaching, you're only one person. So look at it as it's really a tool for you to use to kind of help the students that are beginners, but then at the same time, you're helping the ones that are more advanced at the same time. You can't do that with only teaching one way, which the traditional way of teaching is to get up in front of the class, have a PowerPoint, and you're up there lecturing about your subject matter. That's only one way to teach a lesson. So I'm hoping these slides kind of show you there's many different ways and modern ways of teaching to set up your classroom to engage your students that much more. Differentiated instruction and relating to the arts. This I can speak for. Developing activity stations, quick 15-minute stations, 30-minute activities. Then there's the one I was speaking about, is just getting up and simply teaching the students, talking in front of them. For the arts, there's group critiques, and then there's pairing up two students together and maybe critiquing a painting. Usually for that, I always have a form that I print out for them, and then they kind of follow the form on how to talk to each other about art and ask each other questions about art. Developing PowerPoints, a wonderful visual aid for differentiated instruction. And then papers, also research papers, especially if you're teaching high school, is a great way to teach the arts as well. Give them a topic that they can choose and they can kind of dive into learning about. You want them to pick something that's an interest for them, and then have them like create a research paper is a good example. Instructions typed and then placed on the tables. So sometimes if your instruction is just a little bit fast, this allows students to sit there and read the instructions that you're verbally saying in front of the class, but also read it right on your table, step-by-step instructions on what they're going to do. Thank you for watching another video. I can't say this enough. I appreciate any subscribers that are coming back and watching this series. The next video is an interview. What does an interview look like with a teacher? What kind of questions do like principals, administration, they kind of ask you through the interview process? I'm going to probably speak more on the side of an art educator. But it'll be general teaching questions too, that I think anybody would find useful, especially if you're thinking about getting into this industry, the teaching industry, and making an impact on students' lives. So that will be the next video. I hope you join me. I just want to mention there's a few services that you can find on the banner of my channel. It's a membership opportunity. There's two different levels of memberships. And then there's a drawing tutoring company as well on there. So I teach everything from printmaking to drawing to Adobe Illustrator, to just simple drawing elements, even everything from anime to the modern arts that these students love to talk about and learn how to do. And then I also sell bundled art curriculums as well on this channel. So those are all the services. I hope you check them out. And like I said, the membership, it would be a monthly membership, and there's opportunity to kind of talk with me a little bit, and you will also be able to download templates that I like to use in the classroom, and different website resources, and just, one teacher helping another teacher out. And I will have new material on the membership program every month for you to look at as well. So there will also be some exclusive videos just for people who do the membership as well, just to share my ideas in the classroom and different things that come up that I feel like would help anybody in this profession. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.